Hello and welcome into Sorare with Laird. I am Andrew Laird. You can find me as Lairdino on Sorare. Talking today about whether Sorare cards are collectible or if they ever will be. I don't know if they are right now because some people do. And I don't think anyone's in a specific situation where they're like, yes, these are collectible and here's why, or no, they're not collectible and here's why. But we're going to go into all of that today. So thanks everyone for coming in. If you are here live, that means you are a member of the Sorare with Laird Patreon community. Thank you very much for joining. If you are watching this back and we're like, man, I wish I had watched this live, then you can join the Sorare with Laird Patreon community at patreon.com/Andrew M. Laird. As little as $5 a month gets all the benefits that you would expect from $5 a month, whatever that means. So anyway, Nicola Anion and Mike Baston on the podium. Congratulations to you three. Nicholas said, honestly, I feel like we kind of need to hope that they will never be collectibles because in the moment they become one, it means the game value has decreased, to the point that the collectible value is higher than the game value. Despite that, cards of iconic retired players will always have a collectible romantic feel to it. But I feel like they will never be able to be as good as physical collectibles. All right. Philly Dilly said they can be collectible, but only if you immediately seal them after buying them so they stay in mint condition. I love that line. Dobbsy, what's up? Sean Kennedy. And Mike's checking in once again. So I wanted to bring this up today because there was a Twitter thread by Gambool, who I guess if you pronounce it completely, it's like Gambool. But Gambool owns the first Cristiano Ronaldo unique. And I wanted to talk about this because his Twitter thread, which I'm trying to find right here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to easily find this now. I'm trying to think if I sent it to anybody, but he also wrote a Medium post about his card. And I thought, here we go. Now the Medium post is basically just the Twitter thread is kind of just a summary of the Medium post, but I'm going to read it, or at least a little bit. But he said, I sold a PSA 10 Charizard, which is a Pokemon card for those of you who don't know. And I bought a 1-of-1 Ronaldo NFT. Everyone thought I was insane, but here's why I would do it again. It wasn't hype. It wasn't FOMO. It was a quiet bet on where value, culture, and ownership are headed, which I think has kind of been the rationale for NFT collectibles every single day. But we continue. When I saw the Ronaldo card, 1-of-1, officially licensed, forever verifiable, it hit me. The next generation of collectibles won't be kept in binders, of which I have some back there. Shout out to binders. Charizard was my childhood grail. Ronaldo was, well, Ronaldo. But this wasn't about nostalgia. It was about what comes next. Why collect Sorare NFTs? It's not about flipping. It's about provenance, digital scarcity, licensed history. This isn't a JPEG. It's a blockchain verified piece of football heritage. And this is the card here. There we go. There is the card. And the Medium post is titled, Why This Cristiano Ronaldo NFT is the Holy Grail of Football Collectibles. Now, I don't want to make fun of this, but I'm going to. That there's been kind of a joke, I feel like, on this channel, in which people, Andy and I think Jimmer was actually the first one to say it, that like if you have to explain why something is collectible or why something has value, does it? And that doesn't mean that it doesn't have value. But I remember Quinny was actually the first one to kind of talk about this Cristiano Ronaldo year, or not year, but like the Ronaldo cards from that year. And let's look at all of them, because why not? And he was saying that basically, if you were to buy a Ronaldo, you should buy one from the first season, 2019, 2020. Which are these Ronaldo cards for those of you who are watching. And he was saying everybody knows, and I don't know if it's like everybody knows, but he was like, if you know Ronaldo, like this, I believe was his first year with Juventus. They won the title that year, if I remember correctly. And he was like, this is the Ronaldo you want. And I have no argument to that belief that this is the Ronaldo you want. And Gamboul kind of goes through on the blog post of, if you are going to want a Ronaldo, which he has listed currently for 777 ETH, obviously the number 7 for Ronaldo, and which comes out to roughly $1.768 million. But he was like, if you want a Ronaldo unique, this is the one you want, because this is like the first year. And we have this second year Cristiano Ronaldo unique that was sold on, what was that? Because he writes about it. There was a auction, Bonhams. Here we go. The unique card sold for $400,000, despite it being kind of the second Ronaldo unique. And that this Ronaldo unique, which I believe he bought for 77 ETH, because I looked at it earlier today, 77 ETH and a Ronaldo super rare. And again, 77 with the idea that 7 is the number that he's made that is associated with Ronaldo. And what's interesting to me is that it shows it as $74,000. I don't know like Gamboul's crypto history, but like 77 ETH, like maybe it cost them $77. Who knows when they got their ETH? But anyway, it was this long. Well, it actually wasn't even long. I highly recommend it. You can find it here. Gamboul has, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 U's, GAMB 7 U's L.medium.com. And kind of explains why this Ronaldo card is the best one. The thing that I do struggle with a little bit about the way that it was worded is he says something like it was the first Ronaldo NFT. Here it is. It's not just an NFT, it's Ronaldo's first, which is actually, I don't believe true, because I think his rare card was actually minted before the unique. And the only reason I think that is because I went on Etherscan and just tried to see where the cards were actually, or when the cards were minted, which I thought it showed that. So let's see. This season, and then serial number 1. And I think back then the 1 was actually first, but who knows? So this is all I did was the 1 of 100 was 1,866 days ago, and the unique was 1,840 days. So 26 days before the unique was minted, the rare was. And this is the 1 of 100, which is owned by DC and purchased. When was this purchased? 5 years ago for 10 ETH. And Kitty Pad was the one who initially won it, I guess. And all of these cards were sold in bundles. So you had to buy, in addition to the Ronaldo unique, and I thought it's this tweet from Sorare actually. So this was the bundle. It was a Bentancur, Dybala, Gigi Buffon, and Delict rares, and then the Ronaldo unique. And this was tweeted on June 15th, 2020. And so the whole thing was like, how collectible is this card? And obviously the collectability of the first Ronaldo unique, which I think he described as kind of like the Sorare rookie card, which Sorare have rookie cards now, but they're like actual rookie cards. This was just like the first the first Ronaldo unique. And the the collectability part of it is just kind of weird to me because it has actually seems to have less to do with Ronaldo and more to do with like NFTs as a whole. That NFTs themselves have to become mainstream collectibles in order for this Ronaldo card to be a mainstream collectible. And I have no strong opinion one way or the other if NFTs will become kind of like recognized collectibles in the future. I think they will. Like, I think blockchain technology isn't just going to disappear one day, and that we need to kind of appreciate that these things will be collectibles one day. And you can make the argument that they're collectible today. Like, Gamboul obviously believes that that card is something worth collecting. And I think we all kind of have these things that we think are worth collecting, and that kind of by definition makes them collectible. And one of the things that I keep having to kind of remind myself, or others really, that about collecting is that you don't need everyone to think that something that you own has value. You really just need to have, I mean, reasonably one person. Hopefully it's more than one. And honestly, that's what kind of sold me on Sorare itself. That I had a very tough time when I joined Sorare like 5 years ago. Maybe not quite that long, but almost. That I just didn't see the value in NFTs. And to be honest, I'm not sure I see them today. But I'm not sure that, or I've kind of got to that point where it didn't matter what I thought about it. Something has value if other people think it has value. And if I own something that I think doesn't have value, but other people have an opinion that there is value in it, then it has value. And so the whether you think or I think the first Ronaldo unique is special or important or collectible doesn't matter if other people do. And obviously things become more valuable when more people think it's valuable. And we're just not at that point yet where everyone thinks Sorare cards are collectible. Now, these binders full of cards here behind me are kind of evidence that, yes, like, sure, sports cards are collectible, like physical cardboard sports cards are collectible, but that doesn't mean every card is collectible. And we kind of forget that when it comes to Sorare. Of everyone's like, oh, so most of the cards on the platform are worthless and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, yeah, that's the way the physical card market works as well. That a vast majority of the cards created are worthless. Nobody wants them, because when you have to create a card for every single player who plays, not everybody has value. And so the more I kind of like go into the collection idea or the collector idea of Sorare cards, obviously Sorare itself is not mainstream enough that someone's like, oh, wow, you have like a Ronaldo Sorare card. That's really cool. And maybe somebody who plays Sorare would understand it. But we also generally play Sorare for the fantasy game. And it's not to like obtain collectibles. Now, there are certainly people who do that. I don't want to say that like nobody on the platform collects for the joy of collecting. I myself have bought plenty of cards that probably have zero or close to zero game utility, but I bought them because I thought they would be cool. Shout out to Ren. And so that's where I'm kind of like, the way that collectibles work is that they tend not to be valuable immediately, or at least like their peak value is not immediate. Now, the cardboard collectible stuff has changed over the years. Like when I was growing up, sure, you could get some like cool like inserts in packs, but like packs of cards cost like at most $5. And now it's like, oh, this one has a piece of his jersey from the game that he hit 3 home runs or scored a hat trick, and here's some blades of grass stuck in the card. And like obviously those are valuable right away. But we have to remember that a lot of things that have become collectible became that way because they're old, not because they are exclusive or unique. And so Sorare just hasn't been around long enough to have that old factor to it. And I saw Simply Alex kind of tweeted the other day, about buying like a first year Alexander Sorloth card. And I was thinking about this because I was like, I appreciate that there could be value in like first year so rare cards. Like I have a first year Hans Van Aken, and I really like Van Aken, but like outside of so rare, nobody really knows who he is. But within so rare, he's kind of a legend, obviously, the Lord. And I was like, well, I have his card from like the first year, but realistically, that's not going to become collectible ever, because you can make the case that even if so rare cards become collectible in the same manner that cardboard cards do, nobody's going to be looking for a Van Aken, like realistically. And so you kind of go back to say like, well, what are the other cards that are from that first year that might be collectible? And I'm not here to like uh, show off the cards that I'm like, you should buy this. This card is more valuable than anything else because I happen to own it. But I will show one, which is from the 2019-20 season, which actually that's the second year. This is the same year as that. But like I have this Mathis Churkey card. Some of you know him as Ryan. And so this is like his rookie card, but before they had rookie cards. 15 years old. It's from, this old season. Let's say this season. Well, yeah, 2019-20. And so it's kind of like, I think this is really cool. And these are the types of cards that I like to collect on the platform. And part of it is because it kind of shows it actually shows everyone else like, oh, I actually know more about this player than you do because I have his Lyon card, although he's been at Lyon for a long time. But like, that was part of the reason I really liked the Ren collection, because I could go in there and say, I know that you know a lot of these players, but you may not know them from being at Ren. Now, like Doku is the one that jumps out at me, but like everyone who plays so rare very seriously or has over the years knows that Doku has Anderlecht cards. But like, hey, he's at Man City now. I have his Ren card. I have a Mathis Tell rookie card. And like, there are players here that maybe not everyone knew came from Ren. And Camavinga, another good one. Like, he obviously went from Ren to Real Madrid, but I love the idea of just being like, oh no, I've known about him since he was back at Ren. And that's a reason why I've gotten like a couple other cards. Like I have a Chouameni Monaco card, and it's like, yeah, I've known, you just like, oh yeah, this is the fact that he changed teams almost accentuates the like old of it. And it's like, oh, well, older means it's more collectible, right? But like, I could get a Chouameni any other season Chouameni, but I liked this one. I think this was his first year on the platform, and obviously it's like pre-Real Madrid. And so like, I consider that a bit collectible. Now, do I have 10 of them? No. Do I think that somehow Aurelien Chouameni is going to become a collectible player in the future? Probably not. When you think of like all of the players in the world, like he's not that close to the top of the list, right? When someone's like, oh, I want to collect cards, Chouameni's probably not close unless your name is Aurelien, which like, fair play to you. But the whole idea of like buying like so rare rookie cards, which isn't really a rookie card, it's just like the first year that they had a card. When does that, or will that ever become a thing where people want those cards? And the only way that I see that becoming a thing is literally if So Rare itself as a platform becomes more mainstream. Like, I don't think that there's going to be a realistic outcome where So Rare does not exist in a couple years, and at some point everybody wants to collect So Rare cards because they're like collectibles. So we'll see. Sorry. Shame there's not Ronaldo Man United cards. Yeah. Yeah, but I think he was definitely at Man United when, like, he was at Man United while So Rare went on, but So Rare didn't have the Prem license yet. If So Rare someday can become big and mainstream, I think it could happen to older cards, seeing how prices of worthless Pokemon cards get to insane prices. That was from Anion. The only person I could ever see buying the Ronaldo is Ronaldo himself. Philly Dilly said, I think a problem for collectability is So Rare cards are more sentimentality. I've always loved my Seb Driussi and hated selling and maybe buying back someday, but no one else would care about it. But like, that's kind of the way that a lot of collectibles go. That if you are somebody who loves Driuzzi and now, and you're trying to buy that card from somebody else who loves him, or just somebody who recognizes that you love him, it does have some value. Like, collectability is about sentimentality. And now obviously there are people who have, or when there are more people who are sentimental about players, like I think we can all agree that there are more people who are probably sentimental about Cristiano Ronaldo than Seb Driussi, but that doesn't mean nobody does. And so, and this isn't for me to say like, so every card has value, because they definitely don't. But I actually wouldn't even, I would almost argue that sentimentality probably has a bigger role in collectability in terms of so rare cards than anything else, than like thoughts of value or whatever. Yeah. Mike said, how special should special edition cards be to make them collectible? Are so many of them now that feels that they're losing the specialness? Specials like Champ Edition obviously did, and I'm surprised it didn't continue this, but some of the more recent ones are different, not special. So I think that's a really interesting point. And that's something that I was thinking, or kind of thinking about recently, only because I bought a champion edition card recently. I bought this Hans Van Aken. And I own, like, this is my second Van Aken rare. And I was basically speaking with someone, and they were like, I think Van Aken's a little underpriced, based on what could happen in So Rare 26, if you will. And I'm not sure Van Aken's value went up at all with the announcement of So Rare 26, although I did just see that some announcement that they're going to have uncapped arenas coming up, which, like, obviously they were going to have at some point. But the special edition card was on the market, and I was like, do I want to pay a little more for a special edition card just because it's special edition? And the answer ended up being, yes, I do. And so I bought it. And it turns out it actually wasn't even that much cheaper or that much more. Like, what did I spend? $30 on this 15 days ago. And every other card since then is actually sold for more. So I'm actually really good at this. But it was kind of this idea that if we're all going to start, or not if we're all going to start buying classic cards, but like if classic cards become more attractive to people, I think the sentimentality of special edition cards makes them potentially more valuable. And I'm not sure if people want them because, yeah, it comes with a little bit of a collection bonus. Like, I have a 2% collection bonus on this Bruges season. And I don't even know why. Let's see. Because I have a Mignolet here, and then a Cisse Sandra rookie card. So three of those cards got me to 2%. But I didn't even buy that Van Aken with the expectation of like, oh, I'll get 2% collection bonus on it and on these other cards that I play. Like, it just wasn't a thought at all. And so the idea that that I bought them strictly for that, for like the game utility, I didn't even think about the game utility. The farthest I thought about the game utility was Van Aken would be cool is a good player in the game, like in SO7, excuse me. And the special edition card is cool. And that I literally didn't go farther than that. And I don't know. Uncapped Arena just got announced on Discord in the last 10 or 15 minutes for the Global Cup. Yeah. I assume that's not for like this game week, is it? Starting Friday. Yeah. Anyway, so it got me just thinking of like what does it take? What's it going to have to take, excuse me, in order for these things to become collectible? But just, will we start buying things because they're collectible? Now, I think we're a very long way from buying so rare cards solely because they're collectible. And like, it happens. Obviously, the Legends card, people were still buying Legends even though they had no utility, and now they like maybe have utility, which reminds me, I wanted to see what the floor was on Legends now. After the announcement, I remember they went from like 1 to 7. Wait, let's see how much Legends cards cost. Why don't Here we go. So there are 314 legends available. I was looking at the limiteds. So let's see. Lowest price, $4.61. So it's basically halved. But these are the ones that nobody wants. Rafa Marquez, Mascherano, let's see, Platini. Like none of these guys. Oh, there's Pirlo. I had a Pirlo once. David Villa. Like Villa should be a NYCFC legend. Pirlo should just do Juventus. All right. So even the good ones aren't really that expensive anymore. And then what are this? A rare floor? 17. So like these are technically collectibles because they don't have any utility in the game, although apparently they are getting utility in the game because of sealing in vaults or something like that. I don't quite know. Like we don't know any of the details there, but I don't think we're anywhere close to buying collect cards to collect. And again, I think it's like, the people are buying them because they have a role in the game. And I bought that Vanaken special or player or champ, what is it called? Champ edition. Because I was like, I like the idea of a special edition card. I actually don't even like the design that much of that one, but maybe it was, I didn't pay a premium or much of a premium for that card. And apparently not a premium at all. And so maybe I think there will always be a premium for special edition cards on Sorare because they have a premium in the game, like they have collection bonus. But if they didn't have the collection bonus, I wonder how much people would actually spend more on. And to go back to like Mike's point of like how special should special edition cards be? It's a bit tough, obviously, with rare because they're only 100 every year. And so if you want to make like 10 different special edition cards, then even if you only did one per player, like that's all right. 10% of the supply is special edition, which I don't think is unreasonable, but it's like, are you really going to do one special edition rare per player? And then it's like, well, if you do 10 of them per player, then you can only do like, if you did like 2 special edition type cards throughout the season, now we're at 20%. And just, I think that there are some cards that feel special as opposed to some cards that just look different. And like the J League and K League Heritage Edition cards, I feel like are the definition of just like the look different ones. Nothing special happened for those cards to be created. Whereas cards like the Golden Boy cards. And I think if I remember correctly, there's a Musiala, because I was literally looking earlier today when I was trying to figure out what I was talking about today. Here it is. So this Musiala, which I think is a gorgeous card. Is this one? Was this Chani's? No, Chani didn't have this one. I really thought he did it, or maybe he had a different one. So this one is on the market. Jamal Musiala, 2022-23, Golden Boy. I love these designs. I think they're really cool, and it feels special because obviously, like, not everybody got one. He was listed on the Golden Boy list. It has Golden Boy written on it. And like the last Musiala sold for $187. Now Musiala has like a weird that was a forward card, actually. I almost feel like somebody didn't even recognize that was a forward, because the forwards usually have some pretty good premium on it. So goodbye. Wow. Who bought this one? Good job, TZPN. But anyway, so then it's like, okay, is this card worth 10 times a regular Musiala? Or maybe it's 5-6 times, whatever the math is. And I don't think anybody would realistically spend $1,000 on this card today, but I would argue that this is a very collectible Musiala card, as opposed to all of the Heritage Edition cards where it was like everyone got one. And that doesn't feel very special when it just feels different. And so I think that's one of the things that we have to consider when it comes to, whether these cards, which special edition cards are collectible. Because I do think people really like the idea of special edition cards. And Sorare seem to be creating special edition cards from now on in order to make you enter different competitions that require those cards, which like I don't really care about that. Like I don't think that's a negative. I think it's fine, but it's almost like we need to start recognizing what like what's special and then just like what's different. And that's up to them for the market to decide. But just like looking at the, let's see, card edition, like instant buys. Come on, guys. Looking at like the rare special editions that are out there, like they have the animated ones, which were really just, and again, these are technical. Well, see, I don't even know if these are really that special because again, like every player got one. Whereas the celebration cards, like not everybody got one. They picked like specific players for it. And so these feel more special than they do anything else. And the champion edition, obviously the players had to win their league. Like, should I buy this Rude Vormer for half the price that I paid for Vanaken? Because it helps that collection. Like, I'm not going to do that. But then we have these other ones, these same season. No, back-to-back seasons. Like if you want a $76 Lewandowski, wow, that's cheap. I actually have no idea what a Lewandowski goes for. $20. Wow. So actually not cheap at all compared to the regular one. But these exist. There's a Driuzzi. That Draft Kicks is selling. And so it's like these, only a couple players from each team. Oh, actually, did every player get these? Now I'm starting to wonder if every player got. I mean, if Krugavoy got one, then I guess, yeah, so maybe they're special in the fact that every player on the team got them. Like, oh, that's what it is. Yeah. So everyone on that team got them. But that doesn't mean that everybody in the league got them. And that's what, when you get to these like Harangi heritage cards, like every player got a couple of these. Here's the Jersey edition cards, which they started to make special, even though Jersey mints were kind of like, I felt like they were special already. And then these neon Christmas ones these aren't special at all. Like they have the animated ones, but 51 cents for the Sven comes. So it's like, are these, well, they say these are, I guess it's just a card edition. These aren't special editions, right? Are they considered special editions? I didn't think so now that I've like gone into this. It's just the moving ones that are, right? Animated, if you will. Let me double check here. Weren't there like animated neon Christmas ones? I mean, I have some, or I did. Let's see. Hold on. Anion said they're not. Okay. But there are some. I think I have a Christmas. Do I have a special edition Christmas here? Here, Soren. Oh, no, he wasn't special edition. Of course, I don't have one. I don't know. So it's the term special edition. I'm not like struggling with it because like they can call them these things whatever they want. But the idea is, I got to make a change on Renato Sanchez there. But the specialness of special edition cards is interesting to me. Mike said, for example, Quinny collected the whole Man City quadruple winning season, but there's nothing on his cards to evidence that. Yeah. And that's when I was like, I used to give him a hard time about it because it was like, if, which one is it? Man City? Is it limited or rare? Maybe limited. All your neon cards went to your giveaways. That's true. I don't. Where did Quinny, or did he get rid of them? He only has 2 there. Maybe not. Anyway, but you're right. Like where I don't know what, like, why do they do some giveaways, some special edition, champ edition cards and stuff like that, and others and not? Like, I don't know how it all works. And obviously there's got to be some some stuff with licensing and all that, but it feels like we're moving away from special edition cards and just creating different cards. And not to say that these different ones shouldn't have a place in the game. And maybe it's up to us to figure out like what are actually special versus collectible and what are just regular cards. But I've kind of long said that like time is the only thing that will make something more collectible, but that doesn't mean we can't like acquire them now to figure out like do we think these things will be collectible at some point by somebody? Not everybody needs to have these things be collectible, but I think like I can't imagine Gary V is thinking like, "Oh, my Joao Felix unique is collectible." But he probably bought it with that. Like I think all of these cards were purchased with the idea that they were absolutely going to be collectibles one day. He's got 3 Mbappes, 3 Joao Felixes, and then the Joao Felix unique. How much did he pay for this? 12.649 ETH, $23,000. Who'd he beat out for it? I'm guessing that was YNWA. The Sorare Data mug is definitely a collectible now. 100 ETH for the mug. It's all yours. I'll throw in the Joao Felix rare for free if anybody buys that mug for 100 ETH. Speaking of spending money, patreon.com/Andrew M. Laird for anybody who's not watching this live, because if you're watching live, you're already in. And so thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, I just don't know like where we not like where we go from here in terms of whether these things are collectible, but how far do we go to acquire cards now that might be collectible later? And I think the benefit of having the fantasy game be like the part of this platform is that a vast majority of the players that we would all consider to be like household names and are the top of the collectible food chain are excellent in the game. Now, there are certainly players who are very good in the game that are not going to ever be collectible. And I think like if it wasn't for Sorare, I don't think anybody would think that Hans Van Aken anything would be collectible. But because there are enough people on this platform who know the history of the platform and the Jupiler League and Lord Van Aken's role in that league for so long, that it becomes collectible. But just looking at like the top ranked players on the game, you know, you have like Yamal and Rafinha and Mbappe, and it's like those guys, there shouldn't be that much of a break between the players who are collectible in real life, meaning cardboard collectibles, versus those that are on Sorare. But again, Sorare is more than just collectibles. In fact, it's not really any collectibles. We buy these cards, you know, we buy cards to play them in the game. And so there are players who like Hans Van Aken, who we buy because they're good in the game and may never be all that important outside of it. And so we acquire them. I don't know if we necessarily collect them, but we acquire them as part of being on the platform. And so how far can that really go? Now, my guess is that we will all be long done. Well, maybe not done playing Sorare, but the time where these things become collectible because they're old is not anywhere close. Now, granted, you can make the argument like that Ronaldo unique. We don't know if they'll get wherever Ronaldo plays next, and like it, maybe we do get more Ronaldo cards. Who knows? What I do kind of like wanted to point out that not a lot of people bring up when it comes to the Ronaldo thing is that he has no limited cards. Like all the Ronaldo cards were created before limiteds existed. And so I feel like that actually adds a little bit to the mystique of owning a Ronaldo, because limiteds were kind of introduced as a way to make the game more accessible to people, meaning like they were cheaper. And the fact that there's like never been like a cheaper Ronaldo is kind of cool to me. At least cool in the respect that it's like exclusive is not the right word because it's not truly exclusive, but it is something that people want to that you can like be proud of. Maybe it's just something that you add to your blog post about why your thing is valuable. No offense, Gamble. But I think you could argue, like, I think there are few cards on the platform, if any, that are more valuable than the Ronaldo unique, right? Like, maybe you make the case, and I don't think it's actually there yet. And please don't like think that I'm saying one thing when I'm not really, but I'm just thinking of like the first Mbappe is not like his rookie. Like, it doesn't feel that way. We don't have a Monaco Mbappe, which I think would be really cool if we did, but we just don't. But we have like a first year Yamal. And obviously Yamal is still extremely young, but you know, we have these what other people would call like Yamal rookies, which are just the first year that he had them, but like it was last year. Like, these are the oldest Yamal cards on the platform. He's 15 on them, just like Cherky. But it's almost like he's not old enough yet to be collectible, even though he's clearly one of the best players in the world. And so I don't know what more you could kind of look for in a collectible. Harry's Celebration Yamal was cool. Yeah. It was this season, right? This one right here. Definitely a cool card. I think the player signed cards are great collectibles. Grimaldo traded his recently to someone. Did he really? That's funny. I have one. I have a player signed card, which has a little like so rare lore to it. Shout out Tony Watt. There he is. I agree that those cards are cool. And it's weird to me that they kind of just stopped. I don't know if they stopped doing them or they just kind of like stopped talking about them. Ronaldo. There we go. Like, they did a bunch with with MLS, but I don't know why they just stopped doing them. Card edition, player edition. Oh, he's got 3 of them. Look at that. So Pug has one. So and then he sent it to Radio Mueller for $395. He sold his own signature card for. And then Il Fenomeno has this one, which he got. Oh, actually, so this guy, this is incredible. So Grimaldo traded his signature card, a Cater Bomba super rare, and a Cantero super for an Iago Aspas super rare. Who has this Aspas super rare now? He still has it. Okay. All right. But like those, yeah, I think these cards are great, and I wish they would keep doing them. I swear he got a mental good value for his card as well. I remember Yari Verscharen was trying to sell his. If I don't think Andy Black is here. I think Andy either reached out to him or he reached out to Andy, or I thought that's what it was. And I can't. He wanted. Is it possible he wanted 10 ETH? That seems like too much. Maybe it was 1 ETH, but it was this one right here. So Yari got his, and then sold it for 4.5. I was right. So he sold it for $12,000 to this 1,200 person who has that one and a Rick Vicarton. I don't know who that is, but he has their signature card as well. And then Yari got another one, and Il Fenomeno bought that one too. Wonder if they have a lot of them. Let's see. Rare card edition player. Oh, only 5 of them. All right. Denny Bowanga, Grimaldo, Verscharen. Ooh, that Dembele one is cool. And Julian Gressel, which I'm almost certain Crypto Kicks or Draft Kicks owned at one point. He didn't. Maybe he had a different one. Gressel surely had multiple. This Dembele one is really cool. France, wow. France card, jersey mint, autograph. And Dembele sold it for, maybe he knew this person, Quickie23. Because that looks questionable at best, getting it for free. Maybe they knew them. I don't know. Maybe they knew Dembele. And he was like, I don't care. Just do whatever you want with this card. And they were like, will do. Let me sell it for, I didn't see what the price was. Well, this person's still playing. All right. But yeah, that's a really cool card. What did they get for this? 1.2 ETH, 1.25, $5,000. That's a cool card. So I would like consider that like a collectible. Really cool. Jersey mints. I wonder how far the concept of jersey mints go, because I think they came from Top Shot. So like, I don't know. Like one of 100s I get, jersey mints. Like, I mean, I love jersey mints. I actually like them more than one ofs, but I just don't know how far those go. And I'll take this moment to find the greatest card that oh, hold on. China. Here he is. I don't even know where this guy plays now. Lazio maybe, but this is part of the Ren collection, obviously. Rookie card, 17 of 100, jersey mint 17, and age mint 17, 17, 17. Rookie card. Like that card's never going to be worth anything. Nobody's going to, God knows what I pay. Oh, $50 for that card. Is anybody going to pay me more than $50 for that card one day? I don't know. China is still pretty young though. Still could still happen. But who knows? Who knows? But I don't know. Like, is that type of card something that's going to become collectible? And I don't think so. I think that's a binder card, just one you throw in a binder, and like one day you're just like, oh yeah, that's cool, but like nobody actually wants it. Whereas, like, does a Kamavinga Ren get any value, or does anybody want that? I don't know. Doku, Tell. I mean, maybe they're all too young for me to like really know. So Jude Bellingham. I think Jude, despite being like a central midfielder, will be collectible for a long time. And I have the Real Madrid version of Jude. I only got this one because I have a Modric and a Rodrigo from this season. But I actually love the idea of Dortmund Jude's, because it feels like a rookie card. And this kind of fits into the same kind of narrative as the Ren Kamavinga and Doku or the Monaco Tchouameni, that this kind of shows like, oh, I knew about Jude. And obviously, like when you go to Dortmund, not everybody, but lots of people know who you are. But I loved the idea of having like a Dortmund Jude. And the only reason I didn't, which is kind of funny, the reason I did not get one is because of collections. Like collections actually made me get a version of Jude I didn't want. And Sorare has this one. I bet somebody traded this in. Oh, somebody won it and they were like, Jude's probably hurt. And they just gave it back. Unbelievable. But I kind of love the idea of owning like a Dortmund Jude. And the reason I don't is because of collection bonuses, that I didn't really want to collect a whole Dortmund collection. I don't remember this collection being that great. Like it has like some usable pieces, but let's see. Kobel, Berkey, Hit. So 3 starting goalies. Hummels, Guerrero, Witzel. Like none of these guys are that great. Gio Reyna, that's funny. Brandt, Royce. Like these are. There is not a single other card. Malin. I guess Haaland. Haaland's probably the most. Well, I don't know if Haaland is more collectible than Jude at this point, but like every card other than Haaland and probably Haaland too, but every card in this collection I would be buying just because they're in the collection. Whereas the Real Madrid one has players that like I would actually want. But I just love the idea of having what feels like a Jude rookie card. 18 years old. It's not a rookie because he'd already played or whatever their rules are. But I would argue this is the most collectible Jude, like season wise. I bet YNWA has the unique. Yeah. Or sorry, DFS. What would this go for? Yeah, so this card sold for $220,000, 63 ETH. Bambi wanted it too. We definitely did a watch on this. Surely we did. Surely there was an auction watch. For those of you who are new here, we used to do auction watches for specific cards. And where's the Haaland one? This Haaland one is one of the best watches. Like, I actually think it's worth going back and watching this. It was me, Quinny, PSU fans 2, Black, and was there somebody else? Oh, Maxime, obviously. Maybe it wasn't Sean. So Andy, Maxime, Quinny, and me watching this. And you can see like the old, what Sorare used to look like and what I used to look like. My God. But yeah, it's like, let's just watch it. I only want to, so for some backstory on this, the reason why this is such a great watch is because, where can I find this? Here we go. Just it had been going back and forth. And one of the fun parts of this is that a lot of people were tracking, they were tracking like ETH wallets to see like how much money certain people had in their wallets in order to bid on the card. And we like didn't really know who was going to win. And so yeah, let me see if I can. Yeah, let's watch this. So Shawnee, yes, the answer is somebody outbids Roxy. So there we go. 339, 385 in dollars.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I mean, so next bid is 159.
That's 159 ETH.
We go into the 400 territory.
This is where Zora comes in with 169.69. It's the only way he gets it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because two bids is too high. Oh man.
I mean, Zima is going. If he's going for this.
So Zima Blue, who used to be on the platform, is no longer. Was the one that everybody knew deposited like a ton of ETH on the site, specifically
for the last one bidding, I guess. Ooh. And 1 minute left. I guess we see another bid, or I would be just right, and 145 would be the
there he is. There was no way he wasn't loading that ETH up and not making
right. You have to bid somewhere. Right? Wow.
Yeah, he listened to the stream. Oh no,
Roxy doesn't care.
175.
Here we go.
It's just going too fast.
Much. This is crazy.
So,
before we go any further, I believe, and I will argue this to the day that I don't talk about Sorare anymore. This was peak Sorare right here. Literally the peak. Now, I'm not saying it won't get this high again, but I don't know if it will. And I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't. But I think this moment right here coming up was the highest of the highs for Sorare.
Next bid. Not Zima 192.
So Maxime keeps referencing ETH because I'm not even sure the cash wallet existed at this point. But if you can see on the screen here, the highest bid right now is 54 seconds left, $496,895. That's how much for this Haaland unique.
They're just throwing money at Sorare right now.
Yeah. Half a mil. in dollars.
And one left.
212.
Wow.
Wow. Who
So
needs
I
to
was
sell
going to the million
Donnarumma?
now.
Zima doesn't care. So YNWA sold a Donnarumma unique earlier in the day. Maybe for like 100 ETH. I can't remember how much it was. It was some absurd amount. And everyone's like, oh, I'm sorry, he bought it. It couldn't have been 100. Nobody would pay 100 ETH for a Donnarumma unique. But it was a ton of money. And then he came out of nowhere. He had not bid on this auction. And then out of nowhere dropped 241 ETH, $620,000 bid on this card. And Zima Blue almost immediately outbids him at 265. You'll also notice there was no max bid feature back then. So every bid was whatever the math is, certain percent higher, 10% higher, 212, maybe something like that.
I think that's the max
So
bid.
that should be well.
Guys, are we
I
going
was
to a
right.
million? Are we going to a
No,
million?
I don't think so. But that means
Yes, Andy Black asked if this was going to $1 million.
that is the last one for Zima. If actually 250 was the amount he was ready to spend. Sorry.
Right.
So I mean that should be it for him at least.
I think that's a max bid.
How confident do you think Mark was at 241 thinking he won?
No.
And 5 seconds later, he
Was it even
Next
5
bid
seconds?
is 292. 292 is enormous.
that's
15
this is
mean,
wild.
Oof.
It's just not going to happen.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean
I
that's
think it already would have happened.
That's a
I
punch up.
agree. This is too late.
No, he listened to me and he's waiting for the last 5 seconds. No, not going to happen.
3.
I mean that's it.
This is an insane price.
And sold.
Wow.
I mean you can refresh, but I think it's over. Yeah, it's over.
It's over.
Zima wins it.
Zima Blue.
It's incredible.
I mean, so
Good old days, man. The good old days. So yeah, there was obviously an expectation that card was going to be extremely collectible one day. And we can go look back and say like, oh, they ended up selling that card for a massive loss, both ETH and fiat. I don't know what Zima Blue does now. They're not on Sorare. And I actually don't think the Haaland unique is on Sorare right now. I think somebody like took it off the platform. But YNWA, who I believe is now DFS, won the Jude unique, the one that we were looking at before from this same season, for 220,000, which Jude wasn't Haaland at the time in terms of like everyone knew Jude, but I think Jude going to Real Madrid as quickly as he did was a surprise for some, and Haaland was already kind of like already a superstar, so that the price difference was understandable at the time. But that's why I love this Jude card so much, or really that whole season of cards, because it's the whole like I knew. Like a lot of people buy stuff early on. People say like, "Oh, scouting's dead on Sorare," and it's like you buy these cards when they're cheaper, theoretically. Not that those cards were cheap that I just referenced, but you get them early so that when they do pop, if they pop, they're worth more. And so again, I think the whole like trading thing on Sorare, or the scouting element on Sorare, everyone's like, well, it's dead because of in season and all this stuff. And it's like, well, if you can get these guys who are known but maybe not expected to be superstars after a while, maybe they do become valuable when you have the first version of them. But I don't know. That's kind of like the collector part of it. Remember the odd time when you thought an auction was over and it wasn't? Yeah, when you had to like manually refresh to find out that it actually ended. The site looks so much better now, by the way. Like if you just look at what we just watched and how much better the site looks, just literally from a UI perspective, it's so much nicer. So yeah, that was a fun trip down memory lane. Actually, I was scrolling ahead here we went through the most expensive auctions at the time. So Mbappe unique sold for 116 ETH. Neymar was 74 ETH. And then Mbappe super rare, 58. And you can see another Mbappe there. Oh, there's the Donnarumma. Can I scroll ever so slow? I don't think oh, hold on. Come on. Sorry, I wanted to see what that Donnarumma sold for. Look at that. Full circle. Hans Van Aken signature cards. That's funny. Wonder if he still has them. Let's find the Hans signature cards. And then we'll go. Hans Van Aken. Card supply. Card edition. Player edition. Oh, he's got both still. He's got the 1 of 100 from the honeycomb season and the 69 of 100 from the season before. GG's. Maxime was right, just throwing money at Sorare. We all were. We all were. It was a great time to be alive. But yeah, I think that was peak excitement of Sorare, was that stream right there. Watching that unique of Erling Haaland go, because we all going in knew it would be the most valuable card ever, meaning ever sold on Sorare. To this day, it still is. And it was just peak NFT, peak Sorare, peak a lot of things that I'm just not sure what has to happen for that to get back. Not that we need it to get back there, but it also helps to help others understand why people who've been on the platform for so long can be a little frustrated these days, when you used to have to spend $680,000 to get the most expensive card on the platform. And now, I mean, now if you want to buy the Ronaldo unique for 777 ETH, you could. And that would be the most expensive ever. But I'm just not sure anybody's ready to do that yet. So we'll see. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming. If you could please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to Quinny. Thank you to everybody who was here live, because you were part of the Sorare with Laird Patreon community. If you'd like to join, patreon.com/AndrewMLaird. It helps support all the content that I do. It's as little as $5 a month. You can pay more if you want. We have other options, so don't worry. Don't think you're like, I don't want to just pay $5. You can pay more. It's okay. Anyway, thank you everybody for coming, and please remember to go outside.